Bettor Sports Betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Bettor Sports Betting Show today on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. YouTube's got Howard Bender with me on a Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for everyone jumping in here to talk some sports betting picks. We got NFL Week 8 leans and odds that we're going to break down for ahead of Sunday's games. And we got a little World Series mini preview, betting preview for Rangers Diamondbacks. And Howard, I'm going to need some help today because I'm in that acceptance phase of when your team loses. And last night it was bad, but today I'm in that still acceptance phase. But it's going to take another day or two to get out of it.
I didn't want to say anything. I knew it was going to be a tough day for you, just in general. I don't know if you've if you had a laundry mishap or if that is kind of a pinkish shirt that you are wearing right now. At least some sort of a hue of red, so that you're not completely shunning the Phillies here. You're still kind of, case of the Mondays on the Wednesday.
Definitely that,
yeah.
This is rough, the series. Maybe I was counting the chickens too early because it was a couple of days ago. I was like, all right, Game 5 win. It's 70-80% chance that teams that win Game 5 go on to the World Series, and not for the Phillies.
Has Mad Dog Russo addressed this whole scenario today at all? I have no idea.
I haven't paid I don't know
any attention to it, other than the fact that I had heard constantly that he said that if the Diamondbacks won the last 2 games in Philadelphia, that he would retire on the spot. Adam Bernard, our producer, telling us that he went live about an hour ago, but haven't had to check on it. Maybe he pulled a Costanza and pretended like he didn't do it. That would be hysterical, right? Just show up for work the next day. Just pretend like it never happened.
I doubt. Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I'm sure he addressed it.
Oh
but
my
maybe
God,
not.
Adam Bernard, could you do me a favor and please just make that meme for me, please? Superimpose Mad Dog's head on Costanza when he's saying, "What happened?"
Well, he was on First Take earlier this morning, so he was definitely live on the show. I did not tune in or even check to see if he was retiring or not. That is not the top of my priority list, I'll tell you that.
Such a missed opportunity for a viral meme. I'm just saying. That's a viral meme right there. Of the whole thing with Costanza just pretending like it didn't happen. He goes back to the boardroom is hysterical. I'd bet on that. I'll tell you what. I bet that tweet that goes viral if it's created, Adam Bernard.
Maybe I'm working on it right now.
Oh, he's working on it.
I just want to hug you so much. I do. I just want to. Servo, let's talk bets. Let's talk. You want to talk NFL? What do you want to talk? World Series first? Where are we going?
Let's hold off on World Series. I gotta get some different vibes before we dive into the fact that the Phillies are not in the World Series against the Rangers. It's Rangers Diamondbacks. But yeah, let's talk some NFL Week 8. And if you guys have your own picks or your own leans for any of these games, definitely hit us up in the chat as you guys normally do. See where people are going on some of these games. Got 5, notable games here, notable spreads, notable totals. We'll start with the tightest spread on the board this week over at BetMGM Sportsbook. We got Saints Colts. 43.5 is the over-under. The Colts just a 1-point favorite in this game. Interesting, that the Colts are favored. Still Gardner Minshew under center. Anthony Richardson is out, as you guys know. I don't have a specific lean. I think if anything, this just seems like a toss-up. So maybe I'd lean Saints, getting that 1 point. We'll see if that holds by Sunday, if maybe the spread flips at all. But I don't know, any leans or thoughts on this matchup?
Not really. It's not really a game I want to invest in. I mean, if I had to make a pick, I think the Saints win this game. It's a solid defense. Gardner Minshew, obviously showing that he is Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is a better fantasy quarterback than he is a reality quarterback, and you have to make those distinctions when you're betting. Like, you can't just be like, oh yeah, Gardner Minshew, he's gonna run one in or whatever. Nah, it just doesn't work like that. So for me, it's a rough Colts secondary. Derek Carr's got Olave, he's got Michael Thomas. I hear Jawan Johnson is coming back. Alvin Kamara catching double-digit passes out of the backfield. It's just another good, solid receiving weapon there. I kind of like the 238.5 passing yards for Derek Carr this week. So if I'm gonna lean anywhere on that game, I'd lean Saints, and then I'd double it up with the the passing yards prop as like a parlay. Sorry. Also, my mouth just stopped working. Right. I don't know what happened.
I knew we were going with that.
Get some Red Bull.
Couple interesting trends, by the way, if you're looking to bet this game. The Saints, so their game went over the total last week, but before that, every single one of their games earlier this year had gone under the total. Weird trend there. And it also went back to last season where they had an under streak going into last game when that went over. So, maybe that goes back to the under trend, or it keeps going, whether playing in higher scoring games and Vegas is setting the totals a little too low for them. So something to keep in mind for that. And then another one I found interesting, the Saints, they're 1-0 against the spread with an outright win as underdogs this year. Only once have they been getting points this season, and they won outright. And then as favorites, though, they're 0-5-1 against the spread as favorites. So we'll see if this line flips or not. But those trends are interesting. And this is also the first time the Colts will have been favored this season if this spread holds. So interesting there. They've been underdogs all year until this point. So
they've been rough, man. I mean, it's been, I don't think a lot of people were, they were very hesitant about Anthony Richardson, great raw skills, but can he put it together for the, at the NFL level? I think that was kind of a big deal for a lot of people, but
I got a quick rant, by the way.
Oh, I
didn't even have this planned, but Anthony Richardson with his injury, we got Jim Irsay, the owner for the Colts. He's tweeting out all the updates, all the surgery updates. He's giving us all the information on this. It just kind of bothers me that not letting Anthony Richardson at all speak for himself about this injury, not leaving it up to the team, putting out a tweet, team putting out the statement. It's like the owner, Jim Irsay, giving his, breakdown of it himself. And I don't know, maybe this is baked into just being fed up with, not even as an Eagles fan, but being fed up with the fact that Jerry Jones is still trying to be involved as the owner of the Cowboys, but how much does he really have a say in what this team is? I just get that same vibe with Irsay, and it just kind of irks me that he's putting out all the info about, this rookie quarterback. Let him talk for himself,
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get that. I definitely understand what you're saying there. I mean, owners who continuously chime in and cause headaches and whatever. Yeah, I agree. Shut up. That's yes, you're super rich and you own a football team, right? Okay. It doesn't mean that you really know football, right? It doesn't mean that you certainly don't know medical, right? I mean, I don't know. What medical school did Jim Irsay go to? Right?
No idea.
I mean, and he's also kind of an a-hole. I'm not gonna,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the hardline stance with Jonathan Taylor, I'm actually okay with that. Believe it or not, I'm not one of these people who's pay the running backs their money. I mean, they're making a ton. It's a short shelf life. I understand the team not wanting to invest, but if you sign a contract, honor the contract. Don't renegotiate. It's that classic. Did you ever see Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler version?
Yeah.
With the quarterback, and he punches him out for using the bad language, but he says to him, he's like, could we renegotiate if you didn't play well? And then he's like, no. Well, he said, shit, no. And he said, well, no. Like, you know what I'm saying there? Like that. So I don't mind Irsay on that stance there, but yes, I agree with you, spouting off about,
That's different. I think just like the injury updates of like, especially just the, a rookie quarterback. It's just like a weird vibe to me too. I don't know.
He's creepy.
He's a little creepy, yeah.
He's a little creepy.
As most NFL white owners are. They're weird old rich people. All right, moving on to the next game here. We got the biggest spread this weekend. Oh,
all right, we need the words now.
That's good.
What's the dialogue? Oh, you're so right there. You're so right there. Oh yes.
All right, how about the biggest spread this for the Sunday slate? There's a few big spreads, but this one is the biggest by a point. Dolphins hosting the Patriots. 9.5 is the spread in the favor for Miami here. 47, the over-under. Interesting for both teams. Dolphins coming off their loss to the Eagles. Patriots coming off their big upset against the Bills last week. And instantly, you might think like, oh, let's go with the Pats to now keep it close, for a second straight week against the division rival. But I think I'm leaning Miami here to really bounce back and get a convincing win after last week's tough road loss. Now they're back at home, and I can just see kind of a letdown for a Patriots team that just is still bad. I know they beat the Bills last week, but this is still a bad team. It's still Mac Jones. I could see a letdown for that, and I'm not surprised the spread is that big. I think it could be a double-digit win for Miami here.
Yeah, that's always the going thing when the Patriots play a team like they did against Buffalo and they ended up upsetting them, and everybody's talking about how Belichick schemed against I think you said this on Monday, right? Belichick holding him down there in the first half. I think it's kind of that in that realm. But you know what? A divisional game against somebody you've played against, and worked against how long, right? McDermott versus Belichick, Josh Allen versus Belichick. This is, Mike McDaniel right now is, he's second year here in the league. He's throwing a lot of stuff at people that, maybe they aren't expecting. So, I mean, I like it. I like the lean here of Miami as well.
Yeah, look back. So we had this matchup in week 2 already this year. This is the second matchup between these guys. And in that game, we saw the Dolphins on the road, by the way, get out to a 17-3 halftime lead over the Patriots. And they even led by 14 in the fourth quarter. Patriots did score a fourth quarter touchdown to cut it to 7 for a 7-point lead win for Miami. But I see that, and I feel like we could see something similar where Miami's just up by 2 touchdowns and maybe they score again to get up by 3 touchdowns. So, maybe there's the whole other narrative that, all right, now Belichick knows what's on tape. He knows how to handle this offense. So maybe he does kind of muck it up, especially on offense.
Are you already putting out the backdoor cover vibe right now? Why would you do something
I already told you I'm leading. I'm already looking at the Dolphins side of things, but in the back
but now you're jinxing yourself with this backdoor cover talk. What's the matter with you?
Well, just, it's important to see both sides of it, All right. How about the next game we got here? We got Falcons Titans. This is the lowest total on the Sunday slate. 36.5 is the over under there. The Falcons favored on the road, 2.5-point spread. We got Tannehill out for Tennessee, so we're likely seeing a Malik Willis or Will Levis combination under center for Tennessee. Probably a run-heavy game plan, I would assume, with Derrick Henry there, who, in some trade talks. We'll see if he's moved next week. Who knows? But I think that whole aspect of, Levis/Willis under center at quarterback for the Titans, probably going with a really run-first game plan. I know the total's low, but I have under on this. That's my lean, especially with the Falcons side of things with Desmond Ridder just, looking inconsistent, inefficient a lot of times in recent games. So interesting, though, that the Falcons are favored here on the road.
Well, that's that's one of the things that I think is so funny about this game, and me, man, I look for whatever's going to be suspicious. And so, you're looking at the Falcons and what a disaster this has been with Arthur Smith and, the Bijan Robinson situation and, with the injury reporting and, everything like that. And everything is, there's so much disappointment going on with the Falcons right now, and that they're favored. And that, with all of that happening, what's the first thing that everybody's going to say? They're going to be like, oh, well, Tennessee is, it's Malik Willis and Will Levis or whatever, over there. But what's Mike Vrabel's record as an underdog at home against the spread? Right. So that's what everybody's going to go to. And nobody's going to go to the quarterback situation. They're just going to immediately go to Vrabel as a home dog, always covers, wins outright a ton. And because of that, I'm taking Atlanta and I'm laying the 2.5.
Love that thought process. I mean, you're right, though. Sometimes you get those spreads where it's just a little bit of a head scratcher, but there's a certain way, you can kind of see like, all right, Vegas is telling us here of what might happen. So
yeah,
I get that thought process. I'd probably lean Falcons too. I'm leaning on the under at first glance here on that game. Again, on Friday's show, me and Howard will be giving out some game picks and player props for all these games. Maybe we'll have this game in there as one of our bets. All right, how about the highest total of this Week 8 Sunday slate? We got Bears-Chargers. 46.5 is the over-under for that one. Chargers, 8.5-point favorites at home. I don't know about the over-under, but I will say I'm leaning Chargers in this. I know the spread's big, but
you know me.
I think Vegas is telling us this could be a significant double-digit win because of it's still Tyson Bagent under center. I know he just had a decent game. He had a good game last week. It was at home. It was also against the Raiders, but I need to see it 2-3 more times to really buy into this guy. So we'll see, but that's my instant lean on this one.
Yeah, my instant lean is Chicago plus the points. Chargers as a home favorite.
I know that's
more
risky.
than a touchdown. No. Tyson, that's gonna make me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play a DFS lineup for that game right there, and I'm gonna put Tyson Bagent as my captain play. This dude's gonna run 2 touchdowns in. He's gonna throw for 2 or 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, listen, the Chargers offense is brilliant. I love the Chargers offense. I do. Bears defense is terrible. It really is. But I'm sorry. The Chargers the Chargers defense is garbage. That's the problem. That's the thing. The Chiefs completely manhandled them. They've given up points. They've been giving up yards. They're we were all disappointed in what the Chargers did. I like the over in this game because I think everybody's gonna be like, oh no, Justin Herbert didn't look good against the Chiefs this past week, and blah blah blah. And what's his problem now? Right? People are gonna be down on Herbert. It's an easy cakewalk defensive matchup there, and it's a home start. Can the defense hold it up against the Bears? Probably not. This one here, this screams backdoor cover to me. Screams it. From the mountaintops. Chargers will be up 3 scores, right? In the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go. And the next thing you know, there's going to be a fumble and a touchdown. And then all of a sudden the Bears are going to try and get into it. And they're going to get close to cover the spread. And that's it.
Well, the other thing is this is the Sunday night football game, which if you want to buy into the whole, NFL has it scripted out and stuff. I mean, you don't think they'd be trying to pull some strings to get this be a close game, marquee Sunday night football national televised game? If this is a big lead for the Chargers and basically over at halftime, then everybody's gonna be tuning out, except people that have betting or fantasy implications. But I feel like maybe this could be a little tighter, even though I'm leaning Chargers.
I don't think that this is going to be that great of a game. I don't think that the Chargers defense is just not good enough to cover this spread. Not at home. even against a backup QB. And everybody will think it's a backup QB. Like, the Chargers will be able to take care of Tyson Bagent. No problem at all. It stinks to high heaven for me. And I'll tell you what, if you guys are checking out the Bettorcast app, BETTORCAST.app, we might have a QR code here that we can pop up on the screen. Sign in for that. Like, it's totally free. And we're hanging out in the chat for all of these primetime games. So I'll be in there. They do like all sorts of prop questions before the game and during the game, so that you can answer that. You can score points for correct answers. Your points become, if you win, your points become tickets, and your tickets can be redeemed for free autographed sports memorabilia. So it's a free download. It is a free contest to play. Chat, and then right there at the tail end of the game, I will be there in the chat the entire time, but I will be there at the end of the game, and I will type "told you so" as soon as the Bears cover.
As soon as the Bears cover late.
Slam.
All right, how about our last game here? I had to throw a bonus in there because we only have 2 matchups on Sunday between teams with winning records, and one of them is this Jaguars-Steelers game. 5-2 Jags going on the road into Pittsburgh, 4-2 for the Steelers. Jaguars, 2.5-point favorites, 42 is the over-under in this game. This is one of those games where I see the 2.5-point spread for the Jaguars, and I think there's a reason they're our favorite here. Even though the Steelers are coming off 2 wins, impressive win over the Ravens 2 games ago, and then last week we saw them win on the road against the Rams. But the Jaguars hitting their stride here. They've now won 4 straight. I think their offense and Trevor Lawrence looking a lot better. And I'm just leaning Jaguars here to even go in on the road here and get the win.
Yeah, I'm kind of scratching my head at this one a little bit here. Steelers defense at home is usually rock solid. Jaguars, I think, are a team that can blossom. I think it's a nice matchup for Calvin Ridley. Personally, and I think we can get a little redemption after he got Lattimored all of last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's going to be a very interesting thing. I think the Jags can contain Kenny Pickett in the offense, but there are some nice weapons there with Deontay Johnson. Back on the field. So I'm not sure yet how I'm leaning on this one. I could be persuaded to take the Jaguars, but this could just be closer to a no bet for me, and maybe I'll look at some props.
You mentioned the Pickett aspect of it against this Jaguars defense. Jacksonville has one of the best second or top 5 rush defense in the NFL this year. They force teams, the way their defense rolls, to beat them through the air. Allow a bunch of passing yards per game, but the rush defense has been really solid. And I feel like that has me more leaning towards the Jaguars here because it's going to force Pickett to beat them through the air, which I don't think is a winning strategy for the Steelers if they don't get, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren rolling.
Isn't he forced to throw the ball all the time anyway because Najee Harris sucks at football?
Pretty much, yeah, yes.
So no real change of game plan here for the Steelers.
Yeah, they do find themselves trailing more often in that instance. All right, so yeah, on Friday's show, me and Howard will be giving out some surefire bets and locks for all these games, and some player props, some touchdown predictions. So definitely stay tuned for Friday when we give out those bets. Let's now turn to the World Series, preview this Texas Rangers versus Arizona Diamondbacks matchup. By the way, if you haven't already, go check out the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription, where you can unlock all of our content for DFS, for season long. On Friday is game 1 for the World Series, and we'll surely have, a article out for MLB DFS for that game, for the showdown slate, and throughout the whole World Series. But if you haven't already, I mean, you can look for tonight, for NBA. Last night the season got started, but for tonight, the NBA, we got NBA Best Bets article. We got NBA DFS, NHL DFS. Like, all these sports are being covered. College football this weekend from me and Pete Cole. NFL Best Bets articles from Howard NFL DFS, coaches for every single position. So you want to jump on this Fantasy Alarm All-Pro while you can. Promo code LOCK. Scan that QR code right there. FantasyAlarm.com/lock to get in on it before it's too late. All right, World Series here. Rangers are favored overall in the series. Looking at BetMGM's odds for this matchup, we got the Rangers at -175 to win the World Series, and the Arizona Diamondbacks at +145. You can see on the screen there just how it breaks down if you want to predict exact series finishes, how you think it might go. So I think that's interesting. I will say, who am I to bet against the Diamondbacks at this point because of what I just saw them beat the Phillies? I know the Rangers are should be favored and are rightful favorites in this, but I'm not counting on the Diamondbacks, so I will not bet this series overall right now. I'll bet them game to game, depending on certain matchups and props and all that, but not betting against the D-backs because they're rolling. They're hot right now.
Well, I like that, Rangers 4-2 over the Diamondbacks at +390. I mean, yes, that's the favorite as far as the odds go, but you know what? At +390, it totally makes sense. You're not giving the Rangers a sweep. I don't think they sweep them. I mean, again, this bullpen. See, the key is that, and why I say the Rangers, because while the Rangers bullpen is bad, the Diamondbacks bullpen can be bad too. I mean, it helped kind of carry them through.
They've been really good, though.
It's helped carry them through here without a doubt especially in this last series against the Phillies. But I watched this bullpen throughout the entire season, and it definitely had its ups and downs to it. So I love this Rangers offense. I've been on the Rangers since the playoffs started. So, yeah. I mean, that's so I'm gonna stick with the Rangers. I love what Jordan Montgomery brings to the table. I love what Nate Eovaldi is bringing to the table as well. I think that this is a team that, that has really earned its way in. So have the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have been great. I can't wait. Corbin Carroll, NL Rookie of the Year. So good. But I think the magic kind of fizzles out right now. This could also be the fact that this is the first time the Diamondbacks have been in the World Series since 2001, and I may or may not be extremely bitter about that 2001 World Series. I can't say for certainty that I'm a little bitter about this whole thing. Like, I remember being there. It was a game 4. Tino Martinez hit the game-winning home run off of Byung-Hyun Kim. And it was like, or game 3. It was just looking so great for the Yankees. The home run landed right in front of me. The guy in front of me got the home run ball. It was so cool to see, right? And then all of a sudden, then it just got disgusting for the Yankees. And the Diamondbacks won. And I'm still a little bitter about that. So Texas Rangers in 6, in the conservatory with the candlestick. Yes.
I will say I don't see this being a sweep either way. So I wouldn't bet 4. I don't even think it's 5. I would say if you want to bet series for either team to win, I think it goes 6 or 7. We just saw both these teams play 7-game series, and I know it's home field for the Rangers, but they just won their whole Astros series, all their games on the road in Houston, and lost at home. So interesting trend there. And the Diamondbacks, we just saw them win twice in Philadelphia on the road. So, the road warriors, I think, can make this a really tight series. Our producer, Aaron Bernard, awesome stuff on the graphics as always. And he's got an MVP odds graphic that I wanted to bring up here because I think it's interesting. Some of these names that you could bet on to win MVP this year for the World Series. And I don't know if you knew this, Howard, but I went back and looked at all the recent, the past 20 years, actually, of how many of all the MVP winners in the World Series. And over the past 20 years, do you know, or do you want to guess how many have been starting pitchers?
Of the last 20, the World Series MVP being a starting pitcher, I would say maybe out of the last 20, maybe 5.
It's 3. 3 MVP
Chicks
World
dig the
Series.
long ball, dude. That's it.
Yeah,
right?
so this is just a trend where, like, obviously you can see the odds here, and all the offensive guys are at the top, with Seager and Adolis Garcia at the top there. With that trend, obviously you could see 2 really good outings from like a Jordan Montgomery or an Eovaldi, or Gallon for the Diamondbacks, but it's just kind of the way it goes with the offensive guys really coming in and setting the tone every single game. So I would go, if you're going Rangers, I would go Adolis Garcia with he just come in on that game 7 and just lit up the Astros. I think he's got a ton of momentum here. It's either Seager or Adolis Garcia for me for the Rangers. And then the Diamondbacks, like you got Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll there at plus 1,000. I would lean Marte. He's got like a 17 or 16 game hitting streak in the playoffs that he's just kept on going, and he's set the tone when Carroll actually didn't have the best NLCS. He came through last night in game 7, but Ketel Marte has really been the offensive catalyst for them. So I'd probably lean Ketel Marte if you're looking at Diamondbacks MVPs.
Yeah, I could definitely see, either of those happening. I want to, what are the odds on Jose Leclerc being the World Series MVP? Come on, what happens if Jose Leclerc
has there ever been a closer to win MVP?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think Mariano Rivera ever did it.
Rivera might. I don't think Rivera's done it, but he'd be somebody. Maybe Trevor Hoffman for the Padres. Smoltz? No, they didn't win the World Series, so they lost to the Yankees.
Well, they won in 96 or 95, right?
Who?
Braves.
Yeah. Who is the MVP?
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, I was gonna say like Mark Wohlers.
No, I said if Smoltz won it then as the closer, but it was Tom Glavine looking at it. Rivera did win it in 99 for the Yankees.
See? There you go.
So
there you go.
Could be
Jose Leclerc is terrible, dude. He's literally like one of the worst pitchers ever. How this dude has a major league job is beyond me.
By the way,
no
just
consistency.
If you want some recent history for World Series MVPs to see kind of the trend here, last year was Jeremy Pena for the Astros, Jorge Soler for the Braves, Corey Seager did it in 2020 with the Dodgers, so maybe he gets a second one with his different team now. Steven Strasburg was one of those starting pitchers, won it in 2019 with the Nationals. Steve Pearce with the Red Sox in 2018. George Springer the year before that. Ben Zobrist, Salvador Perez, Madison Bumgarner in 2014. So, just the trend has been hitters. Obviously, if you get 2, shut down scoreless outings from Jordan Montgomery with how hot he's rolling, I wouldn't rule that out. So,
Grimy. Well, I love this. Max Scherzer plus 7,000. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Scherzer like wins 3 games and has like a sub-2 ERA and like just an unbelievable strikeout just for the World Series? Like take everything that you saw from him and just throw it away.
I don't think it's going to happen though.
Of course it's not going to happen. But this is
because he's not starting until game 3.
No, but isn't this the ultimate revenge game narrative here? He started his career with the Diamondbacks. Come on. You never forget your first, Servo. You never forget your first.
If we're going that angle, a starting pitcher is due to win the World Series MVP.
Yes! Hashtag analysis.
Oh, man. I mean, listen, I could see Scherzer, he comes in and maybe he's the guy closing games for the Rangers.
Oh.
He has his game 3 start, throws like 6 or 7 scoreless, even though he's been on a pitch count because he's coming off injury, but still.
I'm falling, Servo. I'm falling for that.
I got Howard shook.
That would be amazing. Scherzer closes out the games. Oh, it'll never happen, but it'd be amazing to see.
We've seen that's been a trend, just starting pitchers being used in the bullpen. Saw it last night with Zach Wheeler. Saw it with Jordan Montgomery did it for the Rangers.
Dude, I'm
in
going to
that Game
text
7.
Jim Bowden as soon as this show is over, and I'm going to be like, dude, go tell Bochy, Scherzer, closer, MVP. Jim would laugh his ass off at me. He'd be like, dude, you're a moron. You'd be like, have you ever watched Max Scherzer pitch in the last 3 years?
Listen, what was that year? I think it was probably the year Bumgarner won it with the Giants. He came in and closed 1 or 2 games in that series, right?
Probably.
If I'm thinking,
I block out all San Francisco Giants World Series wins also.
We've seen it in the playoffs.
You know why the Giants aren't in the World Series right now, right?
Because it's an odd year.
There it is, right? That's exactly it.
But you know what?
Analysis.
It's an odd year, but Bochy's back in the World Series here.
Right? There you go. But he's probably like, hey, can we sign Brandon Crawford right now before the World Series starts? That dude's money in the bank in October.
Are you saying the Rangers won't win because it's an odd year with Bochy?
No. This is Bochy. So Bochy as the manager for the Giants against the Texas Rangers. Now he's going to go and he's going to bring the championship to Arlington. Like Bruce Bochy, national hero. Like all of a sudden, he's revered out here in San Francisco. If he brings the World Series title to the Texas Rangers, are you kidding?
When's the last, if ever, when's the last time the Rangers won? Did they ever win?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think they have.
No, they haven't. They've been to it twice.
Yeah, they've been to it and lost. Interesting. All right. All right, so that's a World Series. Yeah, I'm looking back. It was not. I mean, they're a newer team in the league too, and it hasn't been since the '80s. Just looking back at a bunch of these, so I don't think they've ever won. Yeah. All right, so that's a World Series preview. We got Game 1 on Friday. Tonight, by the way, we got some NBA action. We got NHL too. Wanted to just shout out. Over on fantasyalarm.com, you could check out Iggy Gilbert. He's got his NBA best bets article. He's got a 3-unit play here on the Pelicans. Yeah, you can see it there on the screen. Don't want to give away his analysis or pick, but he's got a 3-unit play here for tonight's Pelicans game. So definitely go check that out. You get with the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription. And he's also got plays on different player props and then a little parlay too with some games tonight. So he did this last night. He hit on a couple of his picks last night for the NBA season starting up, and he's got more today. So definitely go check out his NBA best bets if you're looking some NBA action. Only one hockey game, so I don't think Adam Bernard's got a pick on hockey, but definitely check out the NHL DFS playbook. Yeah, chime it in there. But tomorrow we'll be back here. We got Thursday Night Football tomorrow. Gonna have James Grande on to talk some of that, and I'm sure he will have some NBA picks as well on tomorrow's show. And I'll have some college football bets for Week 9 in college football on tomorrow's show. So definitely stay tuned for that at 4 p.m. Eastern here on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm YouTube. All right, Howard, we're getting out of here, but awesome stuff. We'll be back with you on Friday to give out some Week 8 best bets for NFL. So. This is oh man, yep.
Oh my god. You have to tweet that out from at Pucking Thoughts, please, and or just send it to me. If you don't want to take responsibility, I will happily take credit for that one there. That's
our producer Adam Bernard lighting up the,
I love
the
that
meme there. Love it. All right, that's about it for us. Thanks for everyone tuning in here and watching us on Bettor Sports Network. We'll be back again tomorrow, as I mentioned. So good luck with all your bets and all your picks tonight and this week, and we'll catch you guys later.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports Network.